Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the first official SaintsUKHub YouTube channel video. Joining me today is the man himself, Mr. Ash Pimble. Ash, how are you?
I'm all right, yeah. I'm good. Currently, the Texans are playing, so we're missing out on that dreadful game, so we'd rather do this.
Yeah, the score at halftime is 9-3, I think.
I give up after the first quarter, mate.
9-3. Yeah, it's not a great game, and let's be honest, the London games haven't exactly been great this year, have they? I think the Raiders-Bears was the best one, but
maybe. But there was a tweet on the biggest matter that came through literally about half hour ago saying what's more empty, Falcon Stadium or Wembley, and I was like,
I think it's probably the Falcon Stadium.
It could be the Falcons, but then you don't know.
Well, no, true. It looks fuller today than it did when I was there last week for the Rams-Bengals game. But then we know nobody likes the Rams.
Fans,
yeah, we know there's no fan base for the Rams in the UK, is there? Let's be honest. Right. So the intention of this is for Ash, myself, and Ben, when he's not at NFL games, to come on and talk some Saints football. So for the first show, me and Ash have picked 3 topics that we're going to talk about. The first topic is we're at the bye week, halfway through the season. What's been our favourite game of the season so far? Ash, I'll throw it over to you to go through what your favourite game of the season is so far.
My favourite game of the season, week 3 in Seattle, primarily because Breeze had gone down and we had Teddy Bridgewater. And obviously the NFL pundits, NFL media, ex-players, and even certain Saints fans counted us out going up to Seattle to get us the win. And the fact that Teddy Bridgewater and co, we went up there and we absolutely dominated that game and we came out with a win. I think that would be my favourite game of the season so far, midway point, would be getting the W up in Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, apart from garbage time, the game wasn't even close.
Nope.
The Saints went into Seattle, which is a place they've struggled at in the past, as we know, 2 playoff defeats 2 years in a row. Is it 2011 and 2012? I mean, obviously different team and different players for the Seattle Seahawks and the Saints then, but the Saints have notoriously struggled. It was wet, windy, outdoors. A game
which the Saints can't play and they can't win it in outdoor weather.
Exactly. The Saints, according to everybody in the NFL media, the Saints struggle when it's outdoors. It's a little bit wet, a little bit windy. They were without Drew Brees and they went into Seattle and they absolutely dominated. So that's a good choice. That's a good choice. Mine would be the week after.
Against the Cowboys?
Against the Cowboys, yeah. We owed them one for last year.
Yeah.
They really put a dent in our... Well, they showed a chink in our armour, I think, in that game last season. And we weren't the same team after that Thursday night game in Dallas. Coming into that game, the Cowboys were being talked up as the best team in the NFL. They had a really good defence and they've got, an unstoppable offence. And the Saints absolutely put the clamps on them defensively. Yeah. It was almost a perfect defensive performance.
Definitely. And, obviously... we know that Dak is not the elite quarterback that we all know. And, Zeke is, you feed Zeke and he is the main offense of that team. You stop him, they haven't got really anything else to, they'll have to rely on Dak to throw the ball at the field. And, of course, with our linebackers and our secondary, he had nowhere to go. And, that's it. Stop Zeke, that's it. Dallas offense KO'd.
I mean, it was the first game of Lattimore's renaissance in form this season where he absolutely shut Amari Cooper down. And from that point on, the Saints defense has just been absolutely lights out. So for me, that's my game of the season so far for the Saints. Anything else to add?
No, apart from the fact that we own Texas.
Yes.
We own Texas for a season, so
Louisiana is a state.
They call it West Louisiana. They call it now.
LSU own parts of Texas as well. Don't forget.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll maybe talk some LSU next time or next week. Obviously, in the lead up to the big Alabama game this Saturday. So the second topic that we're going to talk about is what's been our favourite play of the season so far. So I'll go first this time. My favourite play came in the Chicago game, and it's a play that showed Sean Payton to be the premier offensive play caller in the league, and that is the fullback option. So Teddy Bridgewater hands the ball off to Zach Line, who then does the option pitch to Taysom Hill, who runs for 23, 24 yards, I think it was. Which other coach in the NFL is going to call a play like that in a game like that, in that situation? I don't think there is one.
More the case of which coach has the same kind of balls as Sean Payton to run that kind of play. I know we've been talking about it for weeks, and the same as the WHODAT Nation's been talking about it for weeks, that we need another playmaker, we need another wide receiver. But yes, I see that we need another wide receiver to help Breeze out, but right now we're still scoring points with our tight ends, with our third string quarterback, with Michael Thomas, with
Latavius Murray.
That's the one. Sorry, my mind went blank. Yeah, Latavius Murray, and don't fix what's not broken. Let them try and figure us out. You start Michael Thomas, and we're gonna have Alvin Kamara back. We got Latavius Murray. We got Josh Hill. We got Jared Cook when he comes back. So yes, I would like to see another wide receiver, but as it stands now, don't fix what's not broke.
No, exactly.
We're still scoring points. So. Yeah. I can see why Peyton is saying, well, you don't know who we're going to throw to because he's got so many options, although he's not a wide receiver.
No, exactly.
Well, so.
Going on your point you're making there, Breeze threw the ball to 9 different receivers in the Cardinals game last week, including he got Taysom Hill 63 yards. So I think now Breeze is back and Teddy Bridgewater moves back to the backup. You're going to see Taysom Hill's role expand. So you may see more plays like that fullback option pitch that they ran in the Chicago game. So that's my favourite play of the year so far. So Ash, what's yours?
Mine, going back to the Seahawks game, is when Eli Apple punched the ball out from Carson, and Von Bell picked it up and took it back to the house for a score. I think it was a toss up between Deontay Harris's punt return, or it was this, and I think that the Von Bell return for a touchdown, I think that would have been my favorite play, only because it was the Seahawks offense. We stripped Carson, who had been lighting up the season, lighting up the field with the running back core.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can make him fumble, pick it up, take it back down for 6, and that basically kick-started our 5-0 run without Breeze. I think that is my favorite play of the season so far.
Yeah, and a week after Cam Jordan had a touchdown ruled out because the referees blew the whistle too early, the referees let this play run, and I would say this play, the Von Bell play, was a lot less obvious than the Cam Jordan one. If you're looking at the two plays in isolation, next to each other, the Von Bell one is more likely to have the whistle blown than the Cam Jordan one the week before. Yeah. So
I'm not going to jump on the referees, the referee saves thing, because we've done that for amount of weeks.
Oh, we've done it to death.
Yeah, we've done it to death. It's just time to move on now, and let's just let's enjoy this season, because you don't know this year. This season could be the last of Breeze. If we were to touch wood, get another Lombardi, he would probably retire like Peter Manning did, on a high, and go into retirement. So let's enjoy the rest of this season now and see how it unfolds.
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, no, the referee thing, we've talked about it at length.
Yeah. We
don't need to go over that again. But yeah, no, I mean, that was a pivotal play because they were driving on us at the time.
Yeah.
And that's
let other NFL teams get screwed over by the refs. Let them take the lantern of complaining about the referees. We've done our stint, so let another team deal with it now. Do you know what I mean? So
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Okay. So the final topic that we're going to cover today is we're 7-1 at the bye. We obviously made our pre-season predictions. I think we made them on our own podcast, and we made them on the crossover podcast with the Dome Patrol of what we thought our final record was going to be. I just thought it'd be interesting to revisit them now. I mean, you probably won't remember the crossover, but
Did we do it on our part or did we do it on their part?
I think we did it on. But I think we did it on both. I think we may have done it on both. I can't remember. If anybody who's watching this hasn't seen the crossover podcast, watch it. It's funny.
Yeah.
We start off sober. We are not sober at the end of it. Definitely.
No. I don't think I was sober by the time we finished episode part 1 on the total side of it. I think I was quite drunk by that point.
Yeah. So, no, definitely. So obviously we made our predictions and we know what we predicted at the start of the season, and it'd just be interesting to revisit now and see what you think or what we think the prediction will lead to at the end of the season and see where we go from there. So Ash, I think if I remember rightly, did you not predict 13-3 like I did?
I went 13-3 at the start because obviously it was the Seahawks that was worrying me. It was a Rams game, and it was obviously the last week of the week that obviously we'd already got the playoffs, so we just throw in our second string. That's why I went 13-3.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I also went 13-3, and I had us down for defeats at Seattle. I didn't think we'd lose in LA. But let's not talk about that. Yeah, at Seattle. I thought we'd lose at home to the Cowboys as well. Yeah. I thought we'd have a mare there. And like you, last game away at the Panthers, we're resting the starters because we're already in the playoffs. So 7-1 at the bye, 8 games left. Ash, what's your prediction now for the rest of the season?
15-1.
15-1.
15-1 because this team is the most complete team that I've seen in recent years, and I can see us going 8-0 in the second part of the season. And although we discussed it on the podcast, obviously with in week 17 that we'll have the second string starters out, I honestly think that even the second string would beat the Panthers in week 17. So I'm actually going to go with a good, strong 15-1. There's no team that's going to beat us because by the time we get to the 49ers, I think they play the Packers, the Ravens, and us. They're already going to be 3 losses down anyway. So I have got a big stake of 15-1. Okay,
and just remember, if we're talking about our second string quarterback went 5-0 when Drew Brees was down. So no, I'm going a little bit more conservative than you. I think 14-2 is likely to be the record, with that sole defeat coming in the last game of the season when we're playing players who aren't even on the roster now to rest players for the season. 14-2 should be enough to get us into the number 1 seed. I think number 1 and number 2 seeds in the NFC are going to be ourselves and the Packers. So if that's the case, getting the number 1 seed is going to be important because you don't want to go to Lambeau in mid-January.
No.
You definitely don't want to go to Lambeau in mid-January.
It'd be a test, but I reckon it'd be a test we could pull off.
Yeah,
I believe that we could go there. The only factor would be is obviously, us being a Southern State team and they're going to be up in the frozen tundra, then obviously the weather would play a factor with it.
Yeah.
But talent-wise, we'd beat them on any given Sunday. It all depends on how cold it is.
Yeah. So the one thing I'm taking from this is we both think we're getting the number 1 seed.
Oh yeah,
we definitely. Both think we're getting the number 1 seed. So the road to Miami goes through the dome.
Yeah.
Splendid.
Because as much as people are saying, oh, well, the 49ers are 8-0, the fact is they got to play the Seahawks twice, they got to play the Ravens, us, and the Packers. Do you know what I mean? No, they're not pushover teams. So I reckon they're going to get a few L's just in those columns, and it's going to be one of them with us.
If the 49ers end up with the number 1 seed with that run of games in the second half of the season, then they deserve to be the number 1 seed.
Oh, I completely agree with that, but they haven't played the teams that we've had to play without these, Dallas, Seahawks, and Chicago up in Soldier Field. So for us to go 5-0 with our backup quarterback, no, I'm sorry, no other team beats us this season. Right,
cool. So there we have it, everybody. Ash says 15-1, I say 14-2, but we're both gone for the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Right, I think that pretty much concludes the first show on the SaintsUKHub YouTube channel. Obviously, this is our first attempt, so the production will improve. We'll get better at doing this. I'll get better at hosting. But there is one more thing that I'd like to talk about, actually, for a couple of minutes, and that is the first annual UK Saints fans meetup that took place in London last Saturday night. I mean, obviously, I was in London because I was going to the Bengals-Rams game. Ash, you made the trip down just for the Saturday night. Can I have some thoughts from you on how you thought it went? And
I think leading up to that night, it was a lot of panic because, like yourself said, we'd be happy if 10 people turned up, and over 30 people turned up on the first go, and just going round the entire bar and speaking to people from all different corners of the UK
and America.
And America, yeah. Obviously Jerry and Jamal that came from New Orleans, they were over there, and they come along as well. And it was just so nice just to leave all your idea, everything you believe in or whatever at the door. You just come through the door and you talk Saints, and you build in friendships. And I think that it was such a brilliant night. And do you know what? I loved it. The fact that apart from me missing my coach, because I was having such a good time, I look forward to the next one, because a lot of people, both on Facebook, Twitter, and other places, they're saying, well, we didn't know about it. Well, listen to the podcast or follow us or follow James on the SaintsUKHub, and we'll be able to tell you a lot more. And now that, like we said on the podcast, that when the London games come out and we say, right, that is the game, we can promote it and tweet it and share it and everything else, so that we can get a bigger and better and surpass what we did last weekend. Yeah, I'd give it an A++ because it was just such a great night. And the fact that we called the Dome Patrol guys as well, and they were seeing how successful it was. The fact that you were seeing them smiling. Jeff was ecstatic to see us. So was Jeff. So was Damon. Yeah, I mean, so it's good to share worldwide that here in the UK that we have got something good and we are trying to build on it. This is why obviously myself and you are doing this right now, so that we build on the community and make it bigger, better and better. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I organised, well, I say organised it, I booked the venue and took the names of people that said they were going to come and stuff like that. I like you said, I would have been happy if 10 people would have shown up, and that would have included you, me, and Ben. So there's an extra 7 people. But the fact we got 35 people, I think, came along at various different points of the night was just unbelievable. And do you know what? When we do it next year, I want to double that. Yeah, definitely. If I can, I want to double it. I was at the game last Sunday, and there were Saints jerseys everywhere. And obviously, those people aren't going to know who me and Ben are, because we only do the podcast. We until now, obviously we're doing this, but they didn't know. They probably don't know there's a podcast. They probably don't know there's a website. So there's serious untapped kind of potential for UK Saints fans. Not just in the UK, in Europe as well. We know there are European Saints fans. We know there are. So it was a complete success. Everybody had fun. Everybody had a good time, and I already know that people are already looking forward to the next one. And I certainly can't wait till they announce the fixtures for the NFL next year, and we pick a weekend. I mean, hopefully, fingers crossed, the Saints come over to London next year so we can coincide it with a game when the Saints are over. But if not, I want 60 people there this time if we can get 60 people. So that's the plan. Yeah. There was a couple of questions that they did come through to. It was, will it be held in the 9th ward again, or will we look into something different? Because obviously with the 9th ward, it was a great location, although they run out of Southern Comfort cider. But right. I don't think they anticipated somebody ordering 24 Hurricanes, Alex. Yeah. I would like, but a lot of people are asking where's it going to be next year, and obviously at this moment in time I'd say it's 9th ward, but it is subject to change. So, but again, it's not even 1 week old since we've done it, and already people are asking where is it going to be this year, so we can plan prep, and we can be there. As soon as the NFL games are announced next year, we're going to pick a date and pick one of the games, and then that's what we're going to do, and we're going to promote the hell out of it and see what we can do. Oh, definitely. Can't wait. Right. Well, that's it for the first YouTube show for the SaintsUKHub channel. Hope you enjoyed it. Please
any feedback, any comments, please let us know. And we'll speak to you all soon. WHODAT, everyone.